They're very nostalgic.
I've been watching these Mario Maker videos, and they use that as like a punchline where when the streamer is very confused.
Oh.
it'll just cut onto his face and play like a dial-up sound. Like,
that's a good joke.
That's pretty good. I like that. Or like mine would be like the sound of an old 3.5-inch floppy drive.
That's even more retro.
One. That would be a real good one too, I think.
Just like slowly processing what is happening on the screen.
Yeah.
Man, Mario Maker's so weird. The shit people are doing in that game.
It's surprising because I thought with Mario Maker 2, like they had kind of tamped out a lot of that, but apparently there's back.
A lot of glitchy shit in that game apparently still. And a lot of it is from that latest update. Those P blocks do not work the way they should.
Oh, whoops.
So I saw a thing last night where it's like, oh, if you get a blaster stuck in a P switch, it just like keeps trying to push it out. So if you have like a million in a row, it'll just start going hyperspeed because it keeps getting pushed to the left, push to the left, push to the left.
That's a really fun oversight.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Like that.
I got a big old bowl of grapes here. I'm pretty pleased.
I got a big old bowl of gravy. I'm just gonna drink from that. Sold the whole episode.
I've actually, I was being more specific. Is a bowl of grapes in gravy?
Oh, nice, nice. I was like a little.
It's really classic.
I was like a little lumpy gravy. You know, gives it a little body, a little texture.
The sweet lumps.
Yeah,
in the
lumps.
Savory gravy.
That's what I call nipples. Sweet lumps.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. You bite down, and it's like sweet in the center, but savory on the outside.
Yep, you're not wrong. All right, let's see. Are we? Okay, did I post it in the Discord? I didn't post it in the Discord. Hold on, I'll post it in the Discord.
Oh, he's posting it in the Discord.
I'm posting in the Discord.
Wow, streaming Sockscast episode.
There we go. And, of course, it didn't link properly because I didn't type the whole URL. You fucking cunt.
I'll do it.
I got it. Okay, there. Rhett, you do it. You're way better at this than me.
Can you post it on the main Twitter? Then I can retweet it.
Oh, sure. I keep forgetting to do that.
Yep.
So what's with Punch-Out?
That Punch-Out video?
Yeah.
What, the Summoning Salt video?
Yeah, well, it's just like I had no idea how technical that game actually could get.
Oh, dude, that game has layers. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. How's it going, Jetstorm? Welcome.
Yeah,
just all the stuff where it's like push up for one frame to make the enemy block high and then immediately go low for your punch.
Yeah, it's because it's because of the way the game reads your input to react. It's really cool shit. Like it is such a smartly designed game for being so early. For being so early in that game's lifespan, there's so much cool shit.
Or just stuff that, like doing a star punch, but then releasing up does more damage on some enemies. I'm like, what?
That's really weird. I'm not sure I understand. Weird. I don't understand why that's a thing.
Yeah, like I could kind of understand like faking that you're gonna throw a high punch and then not doing it, but the star punch thing was just like, what? And to do Tyson, just do 21 frame perfect hits.
Oh, that's like, all you gotta do. Christ. That's all you gotta do.
With like a 0.11% chance of getting the
the right pattern. Yeah, it's 1 in 1,500.
Oh my god.
And then you've got to execute. That's to get a 159 on Tyson.
Which hasn't been done.
It hasn't been done, no. I think 201 is the record.
Yeah. By the guy who made that video.
By the guy, Summoning Salt. Like, yes, like, it's weird that people are only now discovering that Summoning Salt is kind of like a legend because, like, he's been making these videos for a long time about chasing the world records and stuff, but, like, he's always been a ridiculously awesome champion at Punch-Out.
Cool. Yeah, I was like one of his first videos on his channel was like, oh, here's Mike Tyson getting 209, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then then he's done these extra videos that are just like blind punch out, and he still is like the focus is never on him. It's so classy.
Yeah. Summoning Salt is one of the most humble, like, just down to earth people that kind of have like a status within a community. You know, like you get a status within a community. Somebody's like the head honcho. Somebody's like really well known. Dude does not let it get to his head.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I admire that. I'll be right back.
Okay.
But yeah, when they were doing the comparisons at the end, I just kind of started. I was like, "Oh, is this gonna make me cry?" And then I started welling up, and then it got to his name at the end. I was like, "Oh."
See, the
you
comment
did it.
section spoiled me on that one.
I did. I missed it because I wasn't as on it.
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh."
Just what was Tyson wasn't the last one. What was the last one that they did?
Oh, I forget.
Like Soda Popinski or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Where that's when I started to well up. Where it's like, oh my god, they're gonna do it. They're gonna beat the last record, like the one he left no notes for, which was also interesting. Because like in theory, like the way speedrunning is now, like no video or it didn't happen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just
They all
like this
trusted guy.
Yeah, they all trusted this guy, and then all the times ended up being reasonable and legit, which is kind of amazing that they.
It's very cool.
But it's like in what is it, F-Zero GX? There are these staff ghosts that are really, really hard to beat, and you know that game's already incredibly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So like these staff ghosts are on another level. So it kind of reminded me of that, of like this one guy leaving behind these times that are like, in some cases, like 2 frames off a theoretical perfect run, or just actually the perfect run, and just the whole community having to come together and try to beat them was really crazy.
Beat or tie.
Yeah.
Beat when possible.
I mean,
otherwise,
I understand Glass Joe being unbeatable because there's just a perfect way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
That's funny.
That's a funny thing that happened on a game. I checked the store page for a game that I played that I'll be talking about, and there's like a funny thing that popped up. It's like, oh, here's $100.
Oh.
It's $100 advice competition.
Oh, I saw that.
That's really funny.
What does that mean?
If you send in advice, I guess the best advice gets in the game, and you get $100, I guess. But there's a Twitter post for more details that I didn't check.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing.
John, you'd probably understand if you remembered what games Polly had streamed recently.
John. Jesus Christ.
I'm just like,
if you actually paid attention to your friends and gave a single fuck.
I've actually started watching Friends streams lately. It's nice. No, it's just Polly. Sorry, I don't.
Look, everybody's a streamer now, so everybody. It's hard to always watch everybody, and I understand that, and nobody gets pissed off about that.
Yeah. I mean, Giant Bomb, since they went on lockdown, has been posting like 12 hours of video a day. It's like, okay, guys, like, cool, but I can't watch all that or any of it, basically.
The McElroys are just streaming nonsense on the YouTube channel, like Travis just said, 30 minutes of here's how you play blackjack. I was like, all right, cool, this is nice.
Well, okay.
This is nice.
This
is. I actually need this noise in my soul right now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I like to think that that's sort of the service I'm providing at the moment. Is like I'm just providing a good noise. It's good distraction material.
Makes me feel like I'm not alone in my apartment.
Exactly. Exactly.
There are 2 videos next to each other on my subscription feed on YouTube, and they're both Animal Crossing, and they're both 3 hours long.
Sweet.
I did skip that one. I was
Yeah.
like, no thanks, Griffin. Sorry.
All right, are we ready to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure am. I'm gonna stop eating grapes.
All right. Stop eating grapes and
Never
gravy.
stop eating grapes.
Never stop eating grapes and gravy. Live from quarantine headquarters in lovely Sockscastville. It's your friends at the Sockscast. Sockscast episode 113. Brought to you as always by Moon Pies. Moon Pies, if you freeze them, they make great hockey pucks. How's it going, everybody? Welcome.
It's going great.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it's going swimmingly. It's so good right now. I don't think anybody's going to argue if I take the first minute or two of the show right off the top from the start to say that I think it's important that we shout out and throw a heaping helping of Sockscast love to the folks out there that are keeping this country going while we're kind of in the middle of the greatest age of uncertainty I think we've ever faced. Big shout out to the postal workers, retail workers, food industry, people staffing banks, like everyone that is deemed an essential service at this point in time. At this point in a crisis, you are absolutely the best, and it's terrible that at best you all are taken for granted, and at worst you're treated like garbage. But you all are why this whole shit hasn't fallen apart yet, because Lord knows our worthless administration isn't equipped for it. So yeah, just kind of wanted to say a lot of love for and appreciation and respect for you all, and to everyone out there listening. Like, please spare the biggest truckload of patience that you can for people who are having to work jobs in these conditions right now. They're eating the brunt of everybody being shitty. Let's not make that. Let's not be a part of that. Let's be a bright spot in somebody's day. At least just give them a smile, give them a thank you, anything. So yeah, just big thanks to you all. You all are amazing, and we love the shit out of you.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Anyway, before we dive into the show, some programming notes. We got a lot of stuff coming up. It turns out when you are confined and you need to kind of be distancing yourself from others, doing things online, it's a lot easier to get those kinds of things done. So you may have noticed that last episode that was supposed to come out, we did the Anime of the Decade podcast. So those are out if you weren't already in the know about that. That turned out really well. It was a lot of fun to kind of dedicate an entire Sockscast to Japanese cartoons for once, because they come up a lot, especially thanks to Rhett, because that's literally all he does anymore. But to kind of like go back and look at a lot of those shows that kind of stood out over the last 10 years and seeing what some of the listeners picked, and just kind of like, oh yeah, I like that too, or no, that was garbage, your tastes are shitty.
We didn't say that.
We didn't say that. We were probably thinking it a few times. No, we love y'all. Thanks for everybody for contributing to that. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun to do that. Game of the Decade is still a thing. It's still open. It's still got an amalgamous date that we don't know what's going to be. Because certainly with things the way they are right now, we're certainly not going to rush you.
Thank you, because I still have a lot of blurbs left.
That thing's still happening. We got lists coming in, so people ain't forgot. People are still doing their thing. We don't have a date for this yet, but trust me, it'll get done sometime. But right now, we're not going to rush it. We're just taking it a day at a time, much like everything else.
Thank you so much for sending in the lists, all of you that have.
Absolutely. The lists have been great. Seeing those pile in, just like a big old sigh of relief. But it's also just like I'm the one creating the image banners for every game on the list. I've made like 270 so far. Oof. That's just for individual games, and I'm just like, oh no. And I'm still on like the first page of lists in the in the forum topic.
You offered to do this for me, and I thank you eternally. But
there's no way.
A lot of games. We joked about it being 1,000.
We joked about it being 1,000, but I literally think we might actually hit it. Which is funny because I've done number graphics up to 900. I've already done those, and I'm just like, oh no. We may need more. So yeah, that's fun. But hey, we have another podcast coming out mid part of the week. If you're into the God is in the podcast thing, we just finished recording the
I sure am,
the Mechanical Animals episode, and that will be going up Tuesday or Wednesday-ish. That was fun. Jetstorm 4 was on that episode, and he was a fantastic guest. So I've got that all edited and done together. We have our next episode already in the planning phases for Hollywood. So that'll probably be coming at some point a lot sooner than the rest of these episodes have.
Unfortunately, I can't be on that episode because I've heard that album before.
Yeah. Well, I got you for one, though. I think we found one that you haven't heard that we have you for. And I know that we have one for John.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. We've actually got the next 2 or 3 of these planned out and know who's going to be on them now, thankfully. So
cool.
That's gonna be good. We might be able to crank these out in like 2 or 3 months. Hopefully things might be better.
Hopefully you're not still inside by then.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, so that's like sort of all of the comings and goings that are going on the site. So we'll go ahead and kick right into our introductions to my immediate virtual right. He's got his pants down and he's peeing over the moon. It's Rhett.
You don't want to pee the moon. You want to shoot a laser at it.
Well, no, I just took an exact intro that you said that you expected me to do, and I just used it. You said that last week, so
that's actually how all of these intros are set up, right? Is that we just feed you, like, we stew all week. What do we want our intros to be? And then we tell you before the podcast, and then you list them out.
Yeah.
Well, much like everything on the Sockscast, the introductions are a highly scripted affair.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
It's true. How you doing, Red?
I'm doing.
You're doing. We're all just
definitely been a week.
We're all plugging along the absolute best we can.
Yep.
Yeah. To my immediate virtual left, it's time for him to lay down in his freshly filled tub of hot piss. Courtesy of Rhett. He's
from the moon.
From the moon. It's John Thayer.
Hi.
Hey. How are you doing?
Get a little pruny from being in here too long.
You're eating all them. You still eating on them grapes and that gravy? What kind of gravy? Or what kind of gravy did you go with? Is it homemade? One, is it homemade? Two, is it canned? What type is it?
I said gravy, but really it's just plain bacon grease. I just made bacon and then I just poured the grease all over the bacon. Like, that gravy is sort of my fancy name for it.
Oh.
So it's just grapes and bacon grease.
Grapes and bacon grease. I mean, there's nothing that goes better. I mean, you thought Beats Disaster was the top of John Thayer's culinary limits. You have not lived until you've tried grapes swimming in a fresh, hot tub of bacon grease.
Piss.
A piss. A piss. So gravy also means piss.
I've been kind of lazy because I stopped making my Beats Delight and now I'm just eating the canned beets, the beets right out of the can. It's a great snack.
This is John in quarantine. He's just eating the beets normally.
Oh god, I don't know if that's better or worse. Like the fact that he tries to zhuzh it up a little bit with the seeds, like the sunflower seeds and the cottage. God, I'm seriously almost about to vomit saying it now. Much less having to see it.
That's been a first date combo. For every first date is like near the end. I'm just like, hey, by the way, there's this thing happened. Every new person I meet, I ask them.
John, I think I'm starting.
At all appealing.
I'm starting to see why you're single, John.
So far, I've not had any. Oh, that sounds great. Let me try it. I haven't had that happen yet.
Damn, I can't imagine why. It just seems like they just jump right on that.
It tastes great. It tastes great.
No, it doesn't, John.
Like that?
I can tell you. You know, they say the first thing that goes when you get COVID-19 is that your sense of taste and smell go. I am convinced that you have been in the early onset of COVID-19 for the last year.
Sorry, I started laughing because I was in the middle of eating a grape. I love grapes so much, y'all.
Especially in bacon grease.
Yeah, of course.
Just like you get a little of that sweet and salty going at the same time.
Okay, John, grapes or blueberries?
Oh, blueberries.
Oh, blueberries.
No
just.
I bought blueberries and pineapple and grapes in my latest grocery trip, and I ate the blueberries first because they're my favorite.
Yeah, those are.
Okay.
Like, you could do.
I will eat blueberries until it fucks me up. That's extremely straightforwardly until it messes me up.
And if it doesn't fuck me up too bad, we're going again.
That just means I didn't have the once my family all went blueberry picking at the fancy blueberry farm where you all get to walk away with like a big bag of blueberries. Mm-hmm. And then they all had to go out of town and they were like, well shit, John's the only one not going out of town. Why don't these blueberries are going to go bad. Let's give all of them to him. Oh, no. So in the span of about a week, I ate about 10 pounds of blueberries, and it was a good time.
My skin turned a little blue. It's very effective for your Avatar cosplay.
It's very...
My Willy Wonka cosplay.
John! What you been up to? What you been up to?
Oh my god. Oh my god, y'all.
Yeah.
So last time we talked about Tangled the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
But the finale had not aired yet, or at least I hadn't seen it yet. So I got to watch basically like the last half of the last season of Tangled the series, and it was very good and special. Y'all, it was very nice. It was so nice.
I believe you. I believe you.
So my deal last time is that I was basically coming off the second season, which was a bit of a drag because the first season they're like setting up all the characters and whatnot, and they're sort of setting up, and the broader conflict is sort of a mystery and it's very character focused. And then the second one is very straightforwardly like, we are going from point A to point B. This is a quest narrative now. We are going on a road trip. And it's just kind of, we're going to go to a place and then hang out there for 4 episodes. And it's going to feel like we're there 2 episodes too long. And then we're going to go to another place and we're going to be there for 4 episodes. And it's going to feel like we're there for 2 episodes too long.
Oh, boy.
And they just kind of do that for most of the season. And, like, the payoff is very good. But it doesn't feel... The episode... It has the worst episodic stuff of the show, I think. So I was a little bit cooler on it coming into the last podcast. But then the third season, it's like 4 episodes shorter than all the other ones. The finale is just a 3-part finale. And there's couple 2-parters in there, a lot of songs. So it's a lot more dense with like story. And also the third season is just sort of where the show really finds its heart, because it's where the main conflict comes into play. Like the first 2 seasons are very much like building up to something, and then the third season is that something happening. And suddenly it's like a big conflict between characters that you really care about, and there's a strong villain, and that is just this really strong heart for the last chunk of the show, and they just completely bring it home in the finale in all the ways that matter. So it was a very much a journey worth taking. And I'd also rewatched the original movie, and I rewatched the Ever After short. So there was the movie in 2010, and then there was Tangled Ever After, which was a 5-minute short taking place on the day of Eugene and Rapunzel's wedding. And then there was Tangled Before Ever After, which was the movie that started the series. And that was just after the movie, so before they got married, because they got married years after. Right. They made that clear in the first movie. So then the series takes place, and then there's the Ever After short. So everything throughout the series, you know that it's ultimately going to be okay, and they're going to get married. But the way they get there is very sweet and good. I love Cass a lot. So do y'all have any questions for me about Tangled the series and the greater Tangled canon?
I've never seen the original movie or anything.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god, not even really.
The only thing I know about Tangled is I watched somebody play Kingdom Hearts 3 about halfway through, and I know that Tangled is in that video game, and everything I know about Tangled is from that video game.
So do they mention Sora in the show? Because as you know, Kingdom Hearts is canon.
The first OVA is a sequel, and then the second OVA is a prequel to the sequel. Thank you. Thank you, Byron.
It's so easy. Like, once you get the chronology down, not that hard to figure out.
Well, the first movie is very lovely because the plot is that it's Rapunzel. It's the Rapunzel story.
Yeah, I know it's Rapunzel.
So it's about her. It's the Disney princess who was kept in a tower for basically her entire childhood alone.
Yeah, I mean, like you should do to women anyway.
By her, the Disney edition is that the villain is her mother, who she was born with not born with. She has magic hair that gives you immortality if you sing to it. And what? The mom.
That sounds like a story you'd tell somebody if you were really high.
And this witch kidnapped the magic princess with hair that gives her immortality and locked her in the tower so that she can stay young forever at the expense of this young girl's life, and then raised her, telling her that she was her daughter. So the whole movie is just about her like realizing that literally her mom is a selfish person that is just using her and doesn't care about her, and then having to escape that. And then the series is the first season is just like, okay, I didn't have a childhood.
Okay, I didn't have a childhood. Time to get them titties out.
How do we move forward from here? And then throughout the rest of the show, she just matures in a really cool way. And then the third season conflict ties back into that the evil witch from the first movie and the mom, and it's basically makes the whole heart of the show is just like moving past abuse and neglect, and it's really nice. That's a
really cool thing to base a show on. You see a lot of kind of interesting takes and commentary on abuse in children's cartoons as of late, and I think that, like, you know, given that these types of media are more and more being made by the people that grew up in those types of environments, that's obviously why you're going to see it. But I think it's definitely people making things to speak to people who have gone through the same things, as a feeling that I get from things like, you know, obviously Steven Universe and some of the things it sounds like this is tackling.
Yeah, like it's not going quite as hard as Steven Universe.
No, I obviously know that. Yeah,
very little stuff does.
Yeah.
But it's there, and they make it land, and there's just like an expression of feelings in the last episode that just gutted me. So, like, as slow as the show is, and how for grown-ups 60 some episodes is probably too much for what the story offers.
See, that's what I was kind of getting. Like, it sounds like so much of this show is filler, and then you get those really important moments, like when it's sweeps week or something.
Yeah. But then also, like, half of our chat likes fucking Sailor Moon, so...
Okay, that's actually...
Listen, the 90s was a different time.
In the 90s.
Okay.
I could not watch that show now.
No, I absolutely could not.
I tried.
Oof.
Yep. That's fair warning, but also I know some of y'all can put up with a lot, so I don't feel thinking about that. I don't feel as bashful about
right.
Yeah, there's slow parts. It completely lands everything it's supposed to. So this show brought me a lot of joy, and I've been looping the songs. A lot of them are just extremely good and sweet, and all just extremely character focused. Like, this is my internal conflict. This is why I am suffering. This is why XYZ. Oh, this is fun.
Man, cartoons these days would be a lot more bearable without all the singing.
Don't worry. They only have songs on the episodes, on the important episodes.
On the episodes where we had budget.
Yeah.
But like, if you tried to cut out all the filler, you'd get all episodes with all songs.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Because those are the important ones.
Yeah. I mean, it's not... You can't really do, like, filler skipping, because they pull those threads from the filler eps, like, in constantly. Just like, all right, we're going to reference this thing, so...
Well, at least the filler is there. It's kind of like a standalone complex, where it has standalone episodes and complex episodes, where the standalone episodes are their own thing, but their themes kind of get pulled into the complex storyline, which is really cool.
Yeah, I compared it with Sailor Moon, but it doesn't do like the rigid formula thing. Like they have a bunch of different. It's still not progressing the plot, but it's still they're doing stuff with it.
It's adding things that they can pull back to later at the very least.
Exactly. There are running jokes and running threads that evolve through the filler episodes. Like they do a lot with it.
That's cool.
So I'm. Especially coming off of Frozen 2, which was obviously so disappointing, which I think everyone here can agree was just obviously like went through 12 drafts or had like 12 first drafts and none of them worked. And then they're like, well, it's been 5 years and we've already animated these 7 scenes. So we got to make the rest of the movie somehow. That's what that movie feels like to me. And then this is just like, all right, we're under the radar enough that the studio isn't going to make us make this bad.
Right.
We can make it good.
I mean, they obviously sounds like they took their time with it though, since like you said the first movie was 2010.
Yeah. Well, I mean the the series didn't start until either 2016 or 2017, so they
Yeah,
actually chewed through this pretty quick, just like a season a year. So I was very pleased with it. It was a very nice journey, and I'm going to return to those songs frequently, because that's the thing with musicals is that you can just go to like those individual moments, and you're just immediately thrust back into the feelings and emotion of the story, and it's always just like, oh, this feels so nice. Or sad. Oh.
Definitely sad. Lots of sad.
Oh, there's a couple moments in the back half where it's just like things are finally where you just have two characters that desperately need to talk and have a conversation, and then something, just the worst possible thing, gets in the way at exactly the wrong time, and it's just devastating. It's just like, oh no! But you also understand everyone involved. Like, yeah, I get why this is happening. I hate it, but I get it. Oh, Brett, what have you been up to?
I was just thinking how I've been listening to a ton of the Simple Gear soundtrack at work this week. Just like, take me back to those moments, even though I don't understand the lyrics.
Oh, that's wild. I mean, you can tell them apart.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh. Ooh.
John always has a knife out for Simple Gear. It's fine.
just a little pinprick. I was just like,
yeah, I know.
Just like, well, there's not really a comparison. No, it totally is compared. Like, I have actually listened to the my favorite season 2 episode, the Miku one. I keep playing. I have returned to that one song quite a bit because I can actually connect it with like an emotional feeling, and I'm like, oh man, there's the chills.
There's the feels.
The one moment the show was good. I played a video game.
Yo,
we talk about those sometimes. It's weird just having done the anime episode and then John going into a cartoon. It's like, oh right,
it's like, oh right, we
used to do primarily video games.
We used to do video games on this show.
I played a game called My Friend Pedro.
Oh hey, it's a Devolver Digital thing.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
What if blank but drugs?
Yeah, kind of. So. This game is interesting because I'm playing it coming off very shortly after Katana Zero. This is another 2D action platformer where you have time slowing down powers.
Oh no, is June in the audience?
Now, so here's the thing, though. What's I think found interesting about this game is that when faced with a design decision, it feels like they went the opposite way from Katana Zero.
How do you?
Where it's like in Katana Zero, how much time slowing down do you have? Like barely any.
Just a little.
In this game, you've got like 2 seconds in Katana Zero. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In this game, you have. It may as well be unlimited. Like I ran out a few times in the entire game. You can just turn it on, and every time you shoot an enemy, you'll get more. So if you hit an enemy with like a shotgun blast, you're just full up again. It's like a minute of slowdown. It's fucking crazy. Like, the only time I was regularly running out was on the final boss because I just wanted to be in slowdown the entire time.
This game sounds like it's embracing all of the exact opposite design.
Yeah. And then there's, like, the graphical style where Katana Zero, sprite-based, very
stylized.
Very nice. Stylized and nice to look at. My Friend Pedro, it's 3D.
Kind of ugly.
If you told me it was made from like kind of store-bought assets, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
Especially the first world is just kind of like generic warehouse stuff. Like it's not a great-looking game. I'll be honest.
No.
This isn't really an actual comparison between the games, but because Katana Zero, it's in the name of the game, Katana. This game, you have guns, so that's a pretty big difference between them. I played Katana Zero with the controller because of just how it was set up. Played this with mouse and keyboard because, pinpoint aiming,
yeah, you kind of want that precision.
Yeah. So like it just feels like in so many ways they just went completely opposite directions. And this game does not feel like Hotline Miami at all. Like
and that's the impression that I get from it when I looked at some of the video. I thought this kind of looks a little Hotline Miami-ish.
Like, you even have a life bar in this. You don't actually die in one hit. And then if you do die, you just restart from a checkpoint. Like, it's more about doing a perfect run through a level once you're good, but like your first time you can mess up a lot.
Nice.
It doesn't really give a shit. So it's really not that punishing. I probably might go through it again on the harder difficulty just to see what changes. I went through normal and it was pretty breezy. So it feels a lot more like 2D Max Payne.
Ooh,
because
that's my jam.
Because you are just going into slow-mo, being able to stay in slow-mo for a long fucking time, and just slowly shoot every enemy and just watch those bullets fly through the air.
Yeah.
And so the weird thing in this is that you have a dodge move, which is like a pirouette, and it looks really weird. So your character just kind of spins, and if you're spinning, you don't get hit by bullets.
Nice.
And the other funny thing about... So when you spin, your arms go out to the side.
Oh, and that's... Okay. I'm
so,
seeing...
like...
Yeah.
If you attack during that, the bullets will actually just match where his hands actually are at the moment, and not where you're pointing. Which is a little weird at first, but once you get good at it, then you can start, like... really closely watching the pirouette animation while you're in slow-mo, and then still shooting at the correct times to keep hitting enemies.
That
feels really good.
That's cool as shit.
Because when I started out, I was like, why the fuck are like half my shots not even close? And I realized what's going on. It's like, oh, okay. Like, you really kind of only want to dodge if you need to, so because it fucks up your aiming.
Yeah.
But then you can also work around that in some ways. So
it's
just
kind of like
a game...
learning two different aiming systems and being able to kind of manage them on the fly.
Yeah. The other thing in this, I forget the exact controls because I played this like 2 weeks ago and everything has emptied from my head since then. So like you start with twin handguns and then later on you get twin Uzis. You can also do split aiming.
Oh.
Which it's like, I think it's hold right click on a point and then your right gun will shoot at that when your left gun will shoot wherever you left click.
Yeah.
So you can shoot in two spots at once. And again, when you do the pirouette, then you're managing two different guns at the same time.
That's sick.
It's kind of weird because you get the handgun, you start the game with twin handguns, and then the next upgrade is the twin Uzis. And then the rest of the guns are just like shotgun, assault rifle, and sniper rifle.
I don't see rifles being very fun with these mechanics.
No, so that's the thing, is that the whole second half of the game, you don't have the dual aiming. Or you have it, but like the better guns are all single weapon.
Because it doesn't sound like... With the way the guns were, like, having two guns, it sounds like you have way more options than just, like, oh, I have a shotgun, and now I can do slow-mo. Because that's literally just Max Payne.
Yeah. So, like, it's kind of weird that, like, they kind of introduce and then drop partially the twin aiming stuff later on. But then the shotgun is so good feeling.
You kind of want a good... Like, if your game doesn't have a good shotgun, go back to the drawing board, please.
So, like, even though it was like, oh, I can only shoot one enemy at a time with the shotgun, it's also like, one click, he's gone. If you're close enough, just seeing, like, every individual pellet shoot out and hit an enemy, it's like, oh, yeah, this is real fucking satisfying as well.
Got a nice crunchy sound effect?
I don't really remember, honestly. Everything is kind of, modulated through the slow-mo, I think.
Right.
And then the assault rifle is just really strong, so that's pretty good. The sniper rifle is silly because you're getting to use it in this extreme slow-mo, you could do stuff that is, like, billion% unfeasible, like jumping through the air, sniper rifling multiple enemies in, like, a second. The sniper rifle is pretty much one hit, one kill.
Yeah, one hit. Yeah, one shot, one kill.
So, like, doing that to enemies, like, on the other side of the screen, because it does give you, a little laser sight. It's just ridiculous. Like, so this game, overall, I would say, extremely good game feel once you get a little past some of the initial wonkiness.
Cool.
Like, the animation is a little weird because, especially with the twin aiming weapons, the game is trying so hard to match the character's arms to where you're aiming, but then when you are able to have your left arm and your right arm aiming at different points, doing jumps and spins through the air, and then on a dime pressing shift to pirouette to dodge bullets, the arms are just like, okay, they're going to bend in some weird ways right now. It's a little janky looking, but we're doing our best.
This is definitely a game that looks... It's definitely a game that's got a look that's just, like, people doing the best with what they got, and
Yeah,
it sounds like
it
really
feels a little
stretched it.
budget,
Yeah,
but definitely like it's pretty good at just introducing kind of a new level gimmick every time that doesn't get in the way very much. Because there's some stuff, there's like skateboards in the game for some reason.
okay.
Like the whole tone of this game, like again going back to Katana Zero, which took itself very seriously. This game is goofy as shit.
That's fantastic.
Where it's like some levels will just start with a skateboard, so then you can just start doing kickflips and then shoot enemies while skateboarding, land back on the skateboard. Like there's a specific button to kick the skateboard so that you can catch it.
It's
really
so
weird.
Good. That's so good.
Another thing is like there are just frying pans in some levels, and if you shoot a frying pan or like any sort of deflection object, it'll automatically home towards an enemy. So you can just kick a frying pan into the air, start shooting it, and it'll reflect into every enemy around it.
They seriously thought this shit out very well.
This is just every question they had, what would be fun and what would be cool, they went with
They went with the
best
most
answer.
obvious and extreme of the answers.
Yeah. I will say so the downsides though is that the story is like basically nothing.
Yeah,
because they just clearly didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
There's one level that is kind of like the haha, it's the drug level that really kind of bugged me because it gets a little too goofy. Where you're like running through like clouds and like rainbows and shit. It's like, oh, this feels off. Give me my, grim murder simulator.
It doesn't even sound grim. It just sounds silly.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of blood in this, and I think when you hit enemies with the shotgun, they do kind of, splatter a bit.
Yes!
Like, it is still violent. Like, the humor in this game is almost so bad, they make a internet joke where they go, oh, wow, it really is a series of tubes.
Ooh.
Like, that joke is like literally a decade old.
Man, that's like a joke.
Or more. That's like a 2004 joke or something.
A joke that sounds like it's straight out of Perceptions of the Dead.
Oh no. So like the humor in this doesn't really land like at all for me. Or the story. But like the gameplay is definitely what carried it.
Definitely.
So,
sounds cool.
It's a cool game. Polly, what you been up to?
I've been up to a few things, and I'll probably just fire them all off here and just unload and then let y'all kick the ball back and forth a few other times. Look, I ain't been up to a whole lot, and the things that I have been up to have been relatively light in terms of like time investment and what I needed to do. So, given that now, we're kind of heading into a more kind of settled in stage of quarantine, I will obviously have more to talk about next time because I've got some stuff lined up that I want to play and I want to watch. So I'll definitely have more, but the stuff I have right now is kind of like a lot of silly one-off stuff that we'll just go over in rapid succession. So the first thing I played was a cute little indie visual novel. It is a Toho fan game.
Okay.
And it is named Sakuya Izuyoi Gives You Advice and Dabs. Let me tell you about this video game. What it says on the can, what it says right there on the tin, that is exactly what this game is. Sakuya Izuyoi, the lovely maid of Scarlet Devil Mansion. She gives you advice, and afterwards, she dabs on your ass. And it's the funniest fucking thing. Me and Beepner streamed this, and it was a very, very silly experience. It was a good way to waste an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Once you've seen it once, it's kind of like you it's not something you come back to, but once you see it once, and it's a really great little time. You were saying?
I mean, some of the advice actually seemed pretty decent, all things considered.
Yeah, like it has to play it fast and loose and be a little vague with a lot of the advice, but there's some good stuff in there. There's like some solidly
good little nuggets.
Yeah, there's little nuggets there that are general enough, and the sentiment is just right. That I feel it's like, that's like, it's cute that you made that. Like, I don't know what prompted that. I don't know what Toho meme this spawned from. But the person that took it and ran with it you did a real good job of putting a thing together, like for a nice, fun one-off joke. You absolutely deserve the 99 cents that Rhett gave you for it.
But Polly, it's not actually a one-off.
It is not a one-off because there was a free DLC launch just shortly before I decided to stream this, and it is Notori Kawashiro offers you advice in exchange for cucumbers and eats the cucumbers.
Such descriptive titles.
Again, that DLC, what it says on the tin, that's what you're getting. It's full of more, I guess, worldly advice. Less like the stuff that you talk about with Sakuya is more kind of emotionally kind of mental exercises and just kind of like being generally good to people and yourself. Whereas Notorious advice is more practical, like how to avoid scams, don't gamble, just really fun and dumb shit like that. Look, it's a silly meme game. And it's you're not going to get much out of it other than the funny memes and the funny jokes. I know that the person making it, like, they sort of wanted to use this as a conduit to kind of they're working on a more serious visual novel project. So like it's really cool. It's got cute writing. Like, yeah, it is what it is. It's 99 cents. It's just a cute thing. And the dab is so good. Like, when Sakuya dabs on you, it's real good. And when you get that double dab at the end, when you do the bonus scene, just boom, just flipping that image back and forth over and over, man, you get dabbed the fuck on. If you've never been dabbed on by a maid, I would highly suggest Sakuya Izuyoi gives advice and dabs.
The shitpost is an art, is a grand art unto itself and a grand tradition.
Yes.
And the shitpost game is a beautiful tradition.
Yes,
that does not receive sufficient respect and appreciation.
Absolutely.
And this sounds like a beautiful example of that.
This is a fantastic example of just being a shitpost game whose heart is also in the right place. It's a really fun and cute thing. I like it. So, along with that, I also checked out Kind Words. Kind Words is, it's not really a game. It's kind of just, I don't know whether I would call it like a social experiment or I don't know really what I would call this. It's
like Homestuck?
It's internet connected software.
It's internet connected software. And it's 100% anonymous. And
good.
People post messages of just things that they're dealing with, things they're trying to work past, and you can send them letters and like an answer back and forth. It's just this really cute anonymous thing that is surprisingly well moderated. I've put about 3 hours into kind of answering messages and sending out, and putting a couple of requests out myself to see what people would do. And like, the community is very well behaved. I haven't seen one single instance of anything questionable, problematic, or bad. It's just people in general, like, just seemingly just being genuinely nice to one another. And this thing has been out for a while now. So if it was going to get infested with a bunch of crummy assholes, like, you figured that would have happened by now. But in the almost 3 or so hours that I've spent with it, it's been a pretty pleasant little experience. Like, it's just like, hey, put some advice out there. Maybe give somebody a little bit of like, Lord knows people need a pick-me-up, especially, in times like these. And there seems to be a lot of that going around, and it's just, I was really genuinely surprised at how kind and nice and of an experience it is. It's something that I will probably keep installed and just check in on periodically, to like throw something out there or, send, answer somebody's request, things like that. And
it's so nice.
Yeah, there's no gamification to it at all. There's no like, send 10 letters a day, get an achievement, or anything like there's nothing like that. It's just, this thing is what it is. It's an anonymous message board with a very cute 3D front end. Your little character, you see them sitting there writing letters. You got a deer that pokes his head in and takes your letter and sends it off. It's just this very cute and super, it's so positive, and it's so good that something like that exists, especially in the world that we're living in now. It's just a really cool thing. Thought I wasn't playing Animal Crossing.
I'm glad the community is still nice, because I kind of figure if there were assholes, they got banned pretty quickly when the game was blowing up.
Yeah.
And now it's been like 6 months. It's just like, it's the real dedicated people.
Yeah. Like and you can see like you can definitely kind of identify some people, because you communicate enough. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I know that writing style, or you misspell that word every time. That's probably the same person.
There's like 5 people still dedicated to writing letters.
There's plenty. Like, I couldn't. I mean, obviously, I can't put any number to it, but I'll guarantee you, there's more than 100 or so people that are dedicated to still going out there and regularly putting in requests and answering with letters and sending each other cute stickers and things like that you can put in your room. That's really cute. It's a really cute little game.
That's very nice.
But the big thing I played is I streamed the first one, and I've only done the first fourth of the second one. So we'll hit them up in order. I played an indie visual novel called Perceptions of the Dead. The first one is a collection of 3 short stories. It's playing a lot of setup for the second game. It seems like we're setting up a bunch of characters, and the idea is it's just like we're dealing with ghosts, the afterlife, hauntings, and things like that. So the first story, it comes like this thing comes swinging out of the gate with a really great first story about this live streaming girl who streams herself doing like ghost hunts and stuff, and she ends up going to a hospital. It turns out he's actually haunted. She ends up meeting a lot of really creepy and scary ghosts, gets attacked by ghosts, and it ends up being what that a life-changing moment where really, like, you realize, like, ghosts are real, there's an afterlife, and she has this moment where she just screams, "But I'm an atheist!" It's just so entirely silly. But this is also fully voiced over, and the chick that does Jill's voice is incredibly well. She's super emotive and gives that character a whole bunch of life that really made her story just like a really fun treat to go through. Like, I really like the first story in that first game. Did not like the last 2. They introduced a new character who I still don't know what his fucking deal is. I don't know if he's alive or dead or what. Like, they're very bad at explaining it. But he's a ghost hunter too, I guess. And he has this very monotone way of delivering every line.
Oh, man.
Where he sounds the most he sounds like he's being held at gunpoint to read these lines. And it definitely, like, and it's like, yeah, the stories that they tell with him, with those last 2 stories, they're kind of bad, but his reading of this character makes it way worse, because it was just like, dude, if you're not here and you're checked out, what do you think that's doing to me? Where do you think I am right now?
I think the deal is that they were trying to make a badass, Geralt type figure that just knows exactly what he's doing. He knows what's happening, and he comes in and he solves the problem, and he's just doing his job, and he's competent.
Yeah.
But they do it bad. They do a bad job at it.
Yeah, and along with that, like, it doesn't handle its supernatural elements in a way that makes them fun or intriguing or interesting. It handles them like they're an episode of Fate Stay Night, where there are rules, and like it boils down to just like characters expositing for minutes on end, saying words with sounds coming out of their mouths, but after 2 minutes of me clicking and listening, they didn't say a fucking thing.
You pulled that Fate Stay Night reference out because I was watching the podcast and I realized the stream and went, oh, this is like Garden of Sinners, isn't it?
No, like, what really like when you mentioned rules the first time, that's when Fate Stay Night hit me, because I know that, like, the Fate series operates on a big set of rules that, like, get changed, and like, in this story doesn't seem to be, like, it makes rules, but then it kind of seems like it's skirting them, and it's so confusing.
It has the same texture as Fate, where it's introducing all of these rules, and it just has zero discipline with actually like building to a climax that uses those rules in like an engaging way.
Like they tell you all of the rules, and then the climax completely just forgets, because I don't think that the author knew how to write an action scene, so they had to wrap them up very quickly. Because like the big climax in the first one is just like, and I think it happens in the first story. The second one too is just Jill saying the things that are happening and then being completely useless on the sidelines. Like that's literally her role, is to stand there and say, "Wow, other cool people are doing the cool things. I'm standing here."
Mm-hmm. The first one, it wrapped up. It felt basically okay because it was a short thing. It was like, okay, this is just a short horror thing where a scary thing happens and then it ends.
Yeah, like the hospital story, 100% fine with that. Like that was fun. Yeah. Like the way they wrapped that up, it was really cool. And they introduced and the characters, they still had an air of mystique about them. They were fun. I didn't know the rules that governed oh my god.
Everything.
The fucking magical tattoo. Like what? What? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dude, bro. He was a good character when I didn't know anything about him. Like when he was just like a dead dude that was baking cookies and he was super into his party. Like it was a fun character, but then like they turn him into a Fate Stay Night character.
I am mad about that. Okay, I'm mad at this actually.
Hey, John. When you posted that one clip of Polly blowing up about rules, I saw the one line of dialogue there and went, this reminds me of Fate, huh?
they reference magic circuits.
Magic
something
circuits,
like that.
Exactly.
That was exactly what I thought of too.
So like we get through that story, and then like the last two are about Tyrone, and they're just like these one-offs. Like one of them is like this one-off story about an ice cream truck that's haunted and kidnapped.
And it just goes nowhere.
It just goes fucking nowhere for 15 minutes. It's just. I'm narrating this very long story. It is 15 minutes long. I am not the least bit interested in anything that I'm saying. And it drones on like that for 15 minutes, and the story at the end is just like, why is this here? This did not advance, introduce anything. You could have easily saved Tyrone's introduction for the next story, which isn't that much better.
It is better.
It's just better, but just a little. Like the only thing better about it is it has that cool graphic of the chick hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah,
like that's
there's a moment where Tyrone is like actually like scared.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh, we almost have stakes. Oh, cool.
And then they just hand wave it. Then they hand wave it.
And then they have like 20. It feels like 20 more minutes after the climax. And then it ends.
My god, that's another thing that this game has a problem with. Is that like that story should have ended 15 minutes ago, but y'all are still talking. And then there's the government agents, and now you're talking about aliens. Okay,
I was there for the whole stream for one of these. That's why I'm taking such an active role here.
Yeah. So then we move to Perceptions of the Dead 2, which I've only done the first story of this one, and I'm probably not going to finish that game because I don't see any stream value to me sitting here being like, I don't like this. This is bad.
Because the story you played, it was like 2 hours long. The remaining ones are going to be a little bit shorter, but you played the main story, and it wasn't a great time.
Yeah, like the main story is just, again, like the second game's first story is where everything starts going real fadey, where they start just like taking scene after scene of trying to, like, this bitch is trying to explain to me what a ghost is and spends 5 minutes, again, words coming out of her mouth is moving, did not say a fucking thing, didn't even commit to it at the end, because she was just like, yeah, it's just a theory. Like, you spent 5 minutes of my fucking time and not, bitch.
Oh boy, that one was rough.
John is just grinding his teeth every time you say Fate in a negative context, though.
But then there's like
They build stuff. Like, this doesn't build anything.
No,
it goes for 2.5 hours, and then it just wet fart at the end.
It wet farts, and then it has a 20-minute outro that just rolls around in all that mess with like the government agent and trying to like, you're gonna work for us now. It's just like, what is going on? Like, okay, they're rivals now. What is it? I don't. And then, like, the one guy, he's supposed to be really the fat dude, he's supposed to be super important, but they're like, oh, we're gonna not say why, because that's part of the mystery. Like, oh my God. People. Like, look, they probably had fun making this, and they obviously cared a lot about putting this out into the world with as much effort went into the art, with as much effort that went into making sure this thing was fully voiced. I admire that, and and even if you enjoy this, like, that's awesome. Like, it's great. The way that this thing handles its supernatural elements is just a 100% non-starter for me, though. Like,
yeah,
this is a story that would benefit so much from showing and not telling, and
just pruning shears with the editing.
Yes.
There.
It needs so much editing, because you don't need to give me any explanation for how ghosts work. When I know that there is a ghost in fiction, I know that things can be real fucking weird, and it's okay to just let that ride.
Yeah, that seems like kind of the entire point of supernatural stories, is to not explain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the use of that kind of exposition is that you can build up to, like, an action-packed climax where you understand the stakes because they've explained the rules early on.
Yeah.
And they don't do that here. They don't have the big action climax. It would be better served either by actually building to something or by just being more actually horror and then taking out most of this rules nonsense.
Yeah. Like,
it's just anything where the scale of the production, the quality of the production is so completely outclasses the quality of the writing.
Yes.
And that just is it's such an off-putting combo.
Yeah. Like, and there's also a big old elephant in the room with these games that I don't understand. It makes me feel very awkward even talking about it, but I gotta bring it up because I can't get it out of my head and I can't figure it out. This game has a weird race relations thing going on that I don't understand at all. So, every story that I have played in this series, all 3 stories in the first game and the first story of the second game, every single one of them, anytime a black man is featured, he makes it a point to point out that he is an intimidating black man. What is going on? I don't know any black people that talk like this. This is very uncomfortable. I wish I knew more about the author, because this is a thing that, like I said, every single story. The first story, dude mentions being an intimidating black man. Second story, he mentions being a gangbanger. Third story, intimidating black man. The first story of the second game literally has a, what, don't all black guys look the same joke.
Ooh.
Like, what the fuck? What is this game's issue with, like, I'm so confused as to what I am supposed to be getting from this. Like, is this, like, a racist that's writing this, or...
I mean, I think you understand completely.
I think so, given how fucking, like I said, like, it would be weird if it happened once. But the fact that it is in every single story, and it is always the black person pointing this thing out about themselves, it's so fucking weird.
Ha ha ha, you must be scared to be alone with me. Just like, oh man, dude.
I was just,
is that in there?
That's in there. That's in there.
Oh boy.
It's very...
Y'all are giving this so much the benefit of the doubt when I'm hearing this out of context going, yo, fuck this.
Like part of me is just like, I'm not even ashamed to admit that I went on Google and tried to find the author and be like, what am I missing here?
Yeah.
I try, but I can't find anything about the person.
So I did. It's on the site.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a. But yeah, it's on the site. The name, the Twitter for the author and the Twitter for the artist.
Right. But yeah, really weird. Like, good on you. Good production values. Like those visual novels. Like especially that first one. It's free and it looks and sounds that good. Good job. But yeah. But yeah. Like, I mean, I guess if you like supernatural stories that are gonna explain literally everything to you that doesn't need explained, and that's just a smidge of racism. Maybe Perceptions of the Dead is good for you.
I don't know what niche this fits.
Yeah, I'm just kind of at the end of the day left confused as to because I can't say that it's terrible. I could say that it's, like, to my tastes, I don't think that it's good. But I don't think that it's objectively bad. It's got this kind of, like, I mean, I guess if you give this to certain tweens, they would think that it's great. And I know people that do like it, and I'm not, I don't want to, make it sound like I'm shitting on anybody's tastes at all, but I don't get it. Like,
I understand people vibing with it because I think the quality of the production and a lot of the voice acting kind of elevates a lot of really lousy material.
Yeah.
Like Jill's character, like so much of Jill's being endearing is just performance and the art.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. You take Jill out of that story, though, and it's...
Oh, man.
Unbearable. Yeah, they realized that for the second game because she's in all of the stories.
Oh, God. It's rough.
Yeah.
They got a lot of other VNs on their itch page if you want. You could sample some more and see.
I don't know that I want to, because I kind of feel that like I know that there are other ones who are like, oh well, it's magic. Well, now you're just going to over-explain magic. You're gonna I think that they all deal with these elements of, like, mysticism and the supernatural, and they all deal in probably over explaining them and making them not fun anymore. And I think that that's just a bad way to approach this unless you're doing it properly. Like John said, you create that moment where, like, you need that climax where this all comes together and makes sense, and you there was a reason for you to explain all that shit to me. But I don't feel that it ever actually. Yeah, these games never get there, unfortunately. So that's kind of all I've been up to. Rest of the show is y'all, so go ahead. Have fun.
Well, I played a game, too, I was also quite frustrated with. That I had maybe a bad time with, I'd even say.
Whoa.
I'm crossing my arms now, so you know I'm serious.
Got your eyebrows all furrowed down, and you're frowning.
I've got, like, a scowl. Got a big sneer. I've got, like, clenching up a bit. I was meaning my fist. That was ambiguous when I was clenching. Sorry about that. It could have been teeth. Could have been other things.
It was your butt. It was your butt.
John cocked an eyebrow.
That's another thing. The second fucking game. Like, they really love that line of Jill cocked an eyebrow because it's literally, like, used 20 times in the first story.
They really needed, like, an editor.
Yeah.
A friend to edit.
Definitely.
Nobody was editing. It's just, like I said, the scale where artists are obviously very good at what they're doing, voice actors are obviously very good at what they're doing. They don't quite recognize the bad writing, or the relationship isn't at a point where they can tell that this is bad.
Yeah.
They can't talk about it.
Choose not to. Like, if this is a paycheck, I'm getting it. I'm getting a paycheck. I'm just gonna go. You enjoy it.
But I played Legend of Zelda Orc Seasons.
Ew, Zelda games. Who likes
I think
those?
I was
some hot takes coming out now, pooping on Zelda.
So I was worried that I was too mean to this game when I played it, when I finished it. And then I got, like, 2 weeks, like, yesterday. I was like, oh, I haven't thought of that game. I mean, Rhett pointed out that it's been a busy 2 weeks.
Yeah, like, it's not surprising that you're not thinking about a video game you maybe didn't have the greatest experience with in the last 2 weeks. It's not surprising that that's a little far from your mind right now.
but it did just like completely leave my brain.
Oof.
So have y'all played? Red hasn't.
I have.
Have y'all played?
I played Link's Awakening. It was like, yes, I could go for more of this, and then I didn't.
Link's Awakening is good. I don't think the Oracle games are very good. I don't like them very much.
Are they the same engine though? Like, weren't they just kind of like
exactly
they spun them off to Capcom?
They feel like ROM hacks.
But they should feel good because that game feels good.
Yeah, it feels good in exactly the same way Link's Awakening felt good, except
except hackers who do 3 tile jumps and break into the end game before they should will have a bad time.
Oh my god, I broke the intended flow of that game doing something
that's
very
really hilarious,
easy and obvious, and I wasted about an hour of my life because I broke this. Like, I couldn't accomplish anything.
I know, that's so good.
But yeah, I skipped to an end game area about 3 dungeons early, and then it just was like blank and you couldn't do anything. And I went into a room, and there's a thing where there's a volcano, and under the volcano is like a lava pit. And I threw a bomb in the lava pit, and nothing happened. And then I walked away, and then I came back at the end game, and there was now an NPC there, and then they're just like la di da di da. They don't give you any hints, and the solution is to throw a bomb in the lava pit. And it just if you get there early, it just doesn't do anything. That's great.
Whoops.
So the whole thing just feels a little sloppy with how the overworld comes together. There's just there was a lot of like, I'm stuck, and then I get the solution, and I'm like, that's not very satisfying. But probably the most fun I had was the overworld stuff, because that's the adventure game part where you're like wandering around, you don't know where you're necessarily supposed to go next, and you have to just kind of poke at the edges of the world. The dungeons are just nothing. Like, I couldn't tell you anything about any of them.
See, like, I still remember the Link's Awakening dungeons as being they're fun little puzzle boxes and mazes that I know worked really well. I cannot remember a single Oracle dungeon.
Oh man,
that's too bad, because I think the dungeons are the best part of Awakening.
Yeah,
the Awakening dungeons are really nice. The tower one at the end is really cool.
Yes,
Turtle Rock, I can even remember the shape of.
Yep.
But yeah, you get to this one, and it's just we are making a Zelda dungeon.
Yep.
I don't like there's scrolling in the dungeons. Where it doesn't show you the whole screen on the one screen.
Yep.
Except that every single room is an identically shaped square.
Yep.
It's just like a slightly bigger square than the camera. So it's like, why even add scrolling if you're just going to make it the same square every room?
Yeah, it like, feels very tacked on.
Was Awakening only single screen stuff?
Yep. Yeah, exclusively.
Yeah, it never. So this scrolls, but only a little bit.
But only a little bit, and only in the dungeons. It's really weird.
That's really weird.
It feels like Super Mario Brothers on the Game Boy Color, where it's just like,
oh no, that's bad.
Or it's just like,
That's what I was gonna say. It's like the level designer just did everything at a certain resolution. They were just like, oh fuck, you made them 25% too big.
Yeah,
and they just fucking went with it anyways.
Which is especially rough with this one because all the dungeon rooms are very empty.
Yep.
Oh.
It's just like a bunch of empty rooms. There's like a couple of the last dungeons in this one are literally like linear series of action challenges lined up in a row.
Yeah.
So which game did you play?
Seasons, the action one.
That is the action one.
Yeah, I'm sure Ages is so much better. Everyone told me. Like I got like 4 dungeons in, and I was like, I don't really like this that much. And they were like, well, you should have played Ages. That's the good one.
I'm gonna play Ages now just to spite you.
If you were playing Ages, you just would be cumming your brains out constantly because it's so miraculously good. You should have played Ages. That one's the good one. Oh, I can't even believe you. You should just. I cannot believe it. You are playing Seasons instead.
I'm writing a note here. I'm going to play. This is my quarantine game, Ages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm probably
probably
going to play it.
Oh, no. Jetstorm 4 chat says the Oracle games are not that great, but Seasons is better.
Oh, man. So Seasons has the cute girl. Okay.
Seasons does have the cute girl. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Now, this game, you know how Link's Awakening has introduction, then you got the Marin scene on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. She sings a song by the fountain too.
Yep.
And then you have the scene in the ruins where they straight up tell you like this is a dream.
Yep.
But it's still like 3 dungeons from the end, so it's really eerie.
Yeah.
And it's also divorced from the normal dungeon flow, so it comes out like, oh, this is beefy story when I wasn't expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you get to the ending, and it's really final and moving and complete.
It's a very full and complete narrative, and it just feels real good when you hit it.
It feels real good. So I've been like kind of a little mean to Link's Awakening, just sort of out of a contrarian urge lately.
Mm-hmm.
But like this game made me be like, oh yeah, Link's Awakening is real good.
Link's Awakening is actually really good.
Link's Awakening is real good. Like it's. I feel like Link's Awakening is the first one where they didn't like upend the vocabulary too much. Mm-hmm. Like Link's Awakening, like Zelda 1, Zelda 2, completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Link to the Past, completely different from those 2 games. And then Link's Awakening is sort of a lot of Link to the Past's vocabulary just on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, on the Game Boy is fucking impressive.
Yeah, of course.
And then
and it feels great.
Scrolling to fit everything into single screen stuff again, which is also
smart.
Impressive.
Yeah.
So it's, but like in that sense, I was like, well, if you look at these first 6 Zelda games, like Ocarina and then Ocarina of Majora, like there's one of these that pushes things like the least forward with just like how it plays, like that is the most just imitating the previous game.
Yeah.
And that's Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Because, again, it tells a good story, and it's fun, and it feels good. It has dungeons I remember. And music I remember. This just copies the... And characters I remember. So, that's what I was building to. So, Link's Awakening has all those, like, story scenes that are, like, a minute a pop. Like, a minute and a half a pop. Yeah. They very little.
They make them count.
But they make them count. Oracle has the intro... where Din gets kidnapped, and then it has the ending.
Yeah.
And then the ending, most of what the ending is just go play Oracle of Ages so you can get the finished story.
Yep.
Your Twitter friends have invaded the game.
You should play...
The game itself is like, hey, you should play Ages.
Go play the better one.
To be continued to Oracle of Ages. Cool. Great. Thanks. Cool. Hey, Mom! I want you to spend $40 more on Nintendo games for me, so that I can play one video game. Thanks, Mom. I appreciate it.
To be continued in Fire Emblem Fates Conquest or whatever it was
called. The Mass Effect bullshit where you get to the end of the game and then they're like, but there's more. There's DLC coming later, baby. Just a great way to rip you out of the game. A terminal pops up in front of Shepard. Buy DLC, you fuck.
God. So the story doesn't go, like, the only moment of intrigue is like before the 6th or 7th dungeon or something. You do see Twin Rova just say like something mysterious, like, ooh, hee hee, you don't know what's really going on here.
Yeah.
And then like she pops up right again, and it's like one line, and then she's gone, and then she pops up again right before the dungeon, like, ooh, hoo, hoo, this is all playing into our plan to bring back Ganondorf or something. And it's like, cool, all right. So the story is just nothing. There's just nothing. Din is on screen for like 2 minutes at the start, 2 minutes at the beginning. Yep. You have no, like, it's nice that they have like there's a couple CGs that are cute, like when you're dancing at the start.
Yeah.
Like it's a teensy bit of effort into making you care about this person.
Yeah.
But it's nothing. It certainly doesn't compare with Marin.
No, not at all.
No.
Like top 2 Zelda girls of all time, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening. Yeah, Rhett?
She's the top 2. The Link's Ocarina of Time version is this number 2.
I was thinking Marin and Saria.
Yeah, Marin and Saria.
Because they're both sad, which I like.
Yeah.
Both tragic. So that's another thing that is another thing, a point for Link's Awakening, as it did introduce like new Zelda girlfriends and finally caught up, finally catching up with ease. after like a decade. They start introducing new girlfriends for Link every game.
Ocarina of Time has so many Link girlfriends, it's amazing.
So many. They were making up for lost time.
Yeah.
Because Ys had been doing it since game 1. So
yeah.
Zelda
so they
was like,
really had to gain ground there.
Gotta catch up. Better do a harem game. This is a harem anime game.
To be fair, this Ocarina of Time wifeys are pretty good.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, they're all pretty good.
I love Ocarina.
Wow, that's when you played it. That's not how I thought.
That's not how this turned out last time.
No, I said that the dungeons were like really hard for me to get through and really demanding. And like, yeah, it was like 2.5 hours per dungeon, and it did feel like pulling teeth, but like it told a story I really connected with, and like the ordeal of getting through it made the catharsis at the end land really hard for me, if that makes sense.
You know, people say like pulling teeth a lot, and as somebody who has had teeth pulled now, I can say that was like it wasn't really it wasn't a painful experience at all. I didn't feel a thing. It was a pretty pleasant experience. I was comfortable the whole time. So if it's like pulling teeth, must have been a pretty okay time.
You know, there was a time when people didn't get Novocaine or whatever for that
procedures. That would probably suck.
That's probably where that phrase came from.
More than likely. More than likely.
I got my 4 wisdom teeth taken out, and I was up and about the next day. Like,
how the fuck is that possible?
I'm just naturally.
Different people really like I've seen the entire gamut run in terms of like having your wisdom teeth pulled. Like I've seen people literally just want to die the next day, and I've seen people like John who are literally just like up and about the next day, not a problem. Like I've seen the entire spectrum.
You can say you can say that I'm very cool and strong, Polly. Like you can just say that. I understand.
John Thayer, you are very cool and strong.
Oh, thank you.
You were saying, Rhett?
I did all 4 wisdom teeth in like 2007, and I was just like fucking completely lucid for like several days afterwards because they pumped me full of shit.
Oh, geez.
Opposite of lucid, I think.
Yeah, that's the opposite.
I mean, delirious.
You were half out of it. I may have talked to you during this point. I'm pretty sure we had a couple of conversations at that time because those were back in the AOL Instant Messenger days when we would sign on and talk until 3 a.m. You would start every conversation with a :O.
Yeah. But I remember like waking up, kind of not realizing like, because they give you the stuff and then you pass out and then you wake up and it's done. And you're just like, oh, weird. And then like I'm driving home, or I'm being driven home, obviously.
Yes, please.
And all of a sudden, the pain med kicks off.
Uh-oh!
And I start, like, screaming, we have to go to CVS right fucking now. I don't know, just in a very weird place, like, we need it now!
Okay, I do remember.
So that's
I do
my
remember
experience of, like, pulling teeth.
I do remember that point where I was, like, between getting back from getting the surgery and then... But before I had my prescription pain meds arrive, and there was like a 20-minute window there where I was real grouchy.
Oh. Yeah. See, that's weird because like I know that one of the ones I had taken out was a wisdom tooth, and like I literally had no pain like at all. I wasn't given any post-care pain medication other than what I was on when they had me in the office. But they didn't like put me out or anything for it. I was 100% awake for it.
Damn. Hey, y'all.
Great. You're the most
Polly's
hardcore.
very cool and strong.
It wasn't. Like, the thing is, like, all they came in, they numbed the gum, and the dude came in, was just like, you're going to feel a little pressure. And then you go, pop. And, like, it was literally, like, I was literally in that chair for 20 minutes. And then it was done.
I think you were so fucked up beforehand that whatever they gave you for that week.
That might have been the case.
It was good shit.
Yeah, they might have given me some real good shit. I was pretty out of it a little bit. Like, you know, you get a ride home, obviously. But yeah. I didn't get any post-operative pain or anything.
Damn. I went to the dentist for the first time last year in a couple years, and I had 8 cavities, and I've gotten them all filled. So now my teeth are perfect again.
There you go.
So Zelda
is good.
So story bad, not finished. The decision to split the story into 2 games, originally 3.
Oh my god!
Somehow was extremely obviously cynical and market motivated. and also Pokemon.
Was this before? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Pokemon.
I was gonna say. It's after Pokemon. Okay.
Except and the overworld's sloppy, and the dungeons are bad. But there's one more, maybe the worst thing. Maybe my least favorite thing about all of these is they had 2 new systems that exist solely to give you extra bullshit to collect, and they're both useless the whole game. So it's just bullshit. You know, like how the seashells...
The seashells actually did nice something,
treats
for
the seashells.
Yeah.
So in this game, you can collect seeds, and then you can find dirt patches, and then you can plant stuff in the dirt patches, and then wait and come back later, and a tree will have grown, and then you get a gacha pod from the seed. Literally called a gacha.
It's called a gacha.
Wait,
and then you pop it open, and then you can either get, like a small amount of rupees. Cool. Awesome. A potion which brings you back to life once, and then it's gone. Fantastic. Love that. Or an unidentified ring.
Yes!
So then you take the ring, and then you go to the ring store, and then you pay rupees to identify the ring. And then you finally have identified the ring. And my first ring I got was beeps if there's a hidden dirt patch around. So I put on this ring, and now I can identify when there are secret dirt patches, so I can plant more seeds and get more rings.
That is so beautifully circular.
Oh!
It's so perfect.
The only useful one I got for the whole game was when you walk on floor that will collapse if you hang out, it doesn't collapse.
Right.
Oh.
Which isn't much, really.
No.
It's not a lot. And then you can pay to upgrade it so you can equip more rings. And then if you have Oracle of Ages or a friend has Oracle of Ages, you can trade rings! Like Pokemon!
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, they were really leaning into it at that
some
point.
Sort of trade system.
Yeah, that's really what it was for.
The rupees there's very little you can do with the rupees ultimately too, which is great. So, and of course you can collect pieces of heart, which give you 1/4 of 1 heart.
Yep.
So, my experience with the overworld of this game is that I was just constantly being led down these paths, and then I arrive at dead ends, and then I would get, at best, a piece of heart, and at worst, a seed that might turn into a ring. And there are I was taking notes. I was being a good boy. I was taking notes and be like, oh, there's a place where I need the fall rod, so I can turn the season into the fall season in order to get in here. And then I came back to that 2 dungeons later because I had the fall rod. And then I walked in the door and I was like, oh, I need the hook shot to get across now. Mm-hmm. I'll come back. Let me note that down. I'll come back later. And then 2 dungeons later, I had the hook shot. Came in, or the hook shot adjacent item. Came in, get to the thing across. There's a chest, and it's a ring. Cool!
Awesome!
So went back to the ring store, identified the ring, and he said, oh, you already have this one. I'll buy it back for 30 rupees.
30 rupees! It's such a fucking joke!
Great video game! So much fun!
They don't even eliminate... I mean, I guess they can eliminate dupes because you could trade one away.
Yeah.
Yikes, that's rough.
Oh. No, you can't trade them away. You just sell them. They get converted into...
No, I meant with like a link cable and a friend back in 2000.
Gotcha. Okay. There are 64 rings. A few are useful. That's nice, Zach.
I just wonder, can you get all 64 in a single playthrough? I mean, I guess if you're getting dupes, probably not.
One more thing. The final boss is really hard.
Well, you played the action one.
Yep. I don't know if I missed something. He's also impossible to figure out. The first phase, you have to get through like 3 really hard action rooms, and then you get to him. And then you fight this boss, and he's just a guy in a big suit of armor throwing a ball and chain at you. Mm-hmm. And you've got about 20 items at this point. Looking like a magnet.
and bombs and no, you don't. I don't think you get bow and arrow and boomerang, and I am just playing this game, flinging every verb I've got. It's just systematic. The last like 5 bosses are all like that, where it's just like I have one weakness. Guess what it is? Because you have 20 items now. So I just like go through each of them, and none of them work. None of them. Not a single
from the developers
one does any damage. Yeah, Rhett?
This is a game from Capcom, the makers of Mega Man, because that's how I feel about the end game of Mega Man games.
Yeah, that's how Mega Man always works.
So can y'all guess what the
do you
final
sword
boss
hit it?
is?
Do you sword hit the chainmail thing? Or the
what do you mean sword hit?
Like,
What do you mean?
you just swing the sword and it bounces the ball back.
Nope, you don't fling the ball and chain back. You don't use the magnet on it. You don't do anything with the ball and chain.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
You have to do a charged slash attack. The regular sword hit, for the first time in any Zelda game ever, the regular sword hit does nothing, but a charged slash
charged one
does hurt it. It's so much. And then he summons Din in a crystal, and now she's like kind of getting all up in your grill, and if you hit Din, you take a bunch of damage. And so Din is like hovering around the boss, blocking him. And I'm like, Din comes up near you. So I was like equipping the Pegasus seeds and like trying to lure away Din and then run back and then do a charge attack. And the window is like just tight enough where like it's almost impossible, but like you're not sure. And I tried all my verbs, and every time I hit Din with one of my verbs, I took damage. So I was like, do I just have to use the Pegasus seed? This feels impossible. I don't know how to do this. And then the secret is that you just have to whack the crystal with the Rod of Seasons, which up to now, for the whole game, has only done stuff when you stood on the special season stumps. You stand on the stumps, swing the rod, and then you change seasons. Except for this one boss fight where the only solution is you have to whack. It's just whack her with a stick, and then that's fine. That won't hurt her or you.
Yeah,
and then the last
like
boss
bullshit, inconsistent boss design like that can go fuck off a cliff.
Yeah.
Oh my! It's just so dumb because it's like the season's verb doesn't pay off at all on the climax. Like at least in Minish Cap, you turn small and go into the boss. Yeah, and like cool, that's fine. Somebody mentioned the kinstones in Minish Cap, and yes, they are stupid, just like the rings are.
Yep, absolutely.
But like they did something with their dumb verb stupid verb in Minish Cap, where you have to like go stand on the contextual item in order to trigger it. Mm-hmm. Great mechanic, y'all. And in this one, they're just like, just hit it with the stick. It won't change the seasons or anything, but just hit it with the stick. And then the final boss is played at a 2D perspective, and it looks like Sigma from Mega Man X, and it's very cool, actually, and very fun. But again, the story doesn't do anything there. It's just like, So that part pissed me off, because I was like really ready to be done with this fucking game. And then it was just like this boss stopped me in my tracks for an hour and a half while I was just like, friends were like, I can give you a hint, it's really obtuse. And I was like, no. I will solve this myself. I don't like
Y'all have way more patience than me. I would get stuck for like maybe 5 minutes top and be like, bye. Game FAQs high.
Wow.
Because I'm trying now. I've been bad at adventure games forever, so I'm trying now to get better at them. And like, this made me want to play adventure games, because in actual adventure games, aren't collecting like dumb bullshit. Everything is part of the puzzle usually.
I don't know. I thought the whole thing with old adventure games was that they are dumb bullshit.
They're not
use the rubber chicken on the pulley or whatever puzzle.
Yeah, but then you collect the rubber chicken, and all right, I'm gonna have to use this on something, and that will, like, all the pieces ultimately fit together, even if it's nonsense. Like, it's all important. In Oracle of Seasons, you're just collecting rings and pieces of heart and rupees, and it's all noise.
Yeah,
it's just noise. It's distracting from the adventure game.
Yeah, I'm with John on this one.
Okay. I understood his point when he made it there, but like, adventure games, I think, also are well known for their share of bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's bullshit, and like, adventure games are dealing a lot with individual logic, and you have to put yourself in somebody else's. Like, something that makes sense to somebody at Double Fine might not make sense to someone like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm fine.
It's especially the older ones where it's like, you've hit a thing where like you're in a fail state for the entire game, but it won't actually say it. You just will get to the end and be stuck.
Yeah.
That's really
that's bad design.
Mm-hmm. And people don't do that now, like, for the most part.
Yeah. John, I think a lot of people think that you would probably enjoy Crosscode.
Oh God.
Oh man.
I mean, the puzzles in that are consistent. They're just really hard.
Oh boy. So that was I also Faerun is just exactly what I wanted, because it's like you're not collecting bullshit. Like, there's just everything is important.
Yeah, it sounds like Zelda kind of distilled to its most essential properties.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I like it much more. While still having the pretty, like, the main appeal with this was having a pretty overworld to walk around in.
Yeah.
Like that to puzzle my way through, because that was why I was doing that, was because I was making something like that. And I was like, I want to play something with like a bunch of square screens that come together in a really cool way. And like that was the rings and seeds were the most unforgivable thing, because they compromised that. I'm done. I washed my hands of this. Rat, what else have you been up to?
You want to take like a 5-minute break?
Sure.
All
right. Bit a bit.
We'll be back in like 5 minutes. Everybody get up, stretch your balls out, whatever you got to do to feel better about yourself, and we'll be right back.
Good plan.
Oh, you almost scared me. That scared me into spilling water there. I was like, and I was like, ah,
no. It took me a second to reply because I was jamming to the music you're playing.
Oh, that Dallas soundtrack is real good.
Yeah. I had to mute the stream.
I'm not back yet. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is this live on stream?
Yep.
Okay. Good to know.
Why? What did you almost do?
No, you'll see later.
Oh, you're going to tell me to look at another porn picture in my DMs?
Yeah. No. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Man, she's really got her titties out there, though. Just all of it. Just boom. Laying back. You just see it all. Just kabam.
That's my entire Twitter feed these days.
Yeah, hey, you know what?
Have you seen the newest art trend in Japan?
What is
the reverse bunny thing?
What?
Yeah, it's it's really dumb.
What is the reverse bunny thing?
Like, okay, picture a bunny's suit where it covers, the torso.
Uh-huh.
Reverse bunny is covering everything else, but not the torso. So they're just naked with like sleeves and leggings on.
I mean, I kind of dig that. That sounds kind of cool.
It's really weird.
I'm kind of there for it, but it's also weird.
I thought their whole like heads and whatnot were going to be covered too. It was going to be like a weird.
No, they don't go that far.
Red drops good Sakura content for Sakura Day for me. So I appreciate that.
It was a Sakura cosplayer covered in blood, and John was like, "Yes, yes, yes."
Oh, I was even thinking of that. That was like, yeah, that was on Sakura Day, and then earlier today, he sent me some good stuff too.
Oh, right.
It's like, remember sometimes when you see a picture and you'd be like, I'm going to need the next 20 minutes blocked off? That was John.
Hey, Polly, Red's a good friend.
Not going to argue about that. Not going to argue at all. Red is a good friend.
It's good.
This is funny in the context of sends good porn.
I was just being appreciative that I've got tea and lemon and milk and sugar all stocked up. Like, I'm on my last roll of toilet paper, but I've got those, so I know I'm going to be fine.
Oh, no.
Fucking toilet paper.
John, you have butt problems. You are not the person that wants to be without toilet paper right now.
Hey, Polly, I'm aware.
Oh, no.
No. John, I have like 16. I will send you some.
All right, that could be the end game. So I just, Polly,
please
help me toilet paper.
I would not be surprised if that shit got stolen in the mail with the way people are acting right now.
John, you can avoid the TP shortage with a bidet. Like, that's like
I heard bidets have started selling like because of this.
Yep.
That's like a whole thing is selling. Is like it's a big thing. Yeah. It's a whole process is installing a bidet.
Yeah. Do you think that's an essential service? Installing a bidet. Do you think that's like that counts as essential service?
And you need TP
2 weeks ago, yes. Right now, no.
No, John. You buy one towel and you only that is the butt towel. Forever the butt towel.
The thing is that you get in the shower and then you turn on the bathtub drain and then you stick your butt right underneath the bathtub faucet and go like kind of wiggle around and get your hand up in there and then you wash your hands afterwards and that's it. That's what you have to do when you run out of toilet paper. Straightforward and it sucks.
John, I don't want you to go around with butt hand. So I'm hoping that things go better for you.
Thank you, Polly. It's important that we're all there for each other in this trying time. Especially for people like me who, are really suffering the tech bro working from home.
Yep, the suffering tech bro. Rhett.
Hi.
I know. Look, I could sit here and we could talk about John's ass problems all day, and I would be totally fine with it. I think that we could make a very fun, educational, and humorous episode of the Sockscast if that was the one thing we chose to have a spoiler cast about.
I feel like for it to be educational, I would have to understand my butt problems, and they exist beyond my ken. I don't know. I don't really get them yet.
Well, maybe we could like posit it to chat, have people come in and have them give their expert opinions on what they think your butt problem. Like we have you explain your butt problems in vivid detail. Like I just want like start of poop to end of poop. To interim of like what happens between poops, where's the gurglies happening, what's going on.
I was a doctor and he was just like, I don't know, try eating less spicy food. I was like, thanks.
Thanks, real dude. Fucking useful.
Because obviously I'm not going to eat less spicy food.
No, so that's not doing anything. I mean, that's something I was told to do when I was having because I'm having acid reflux issues and I'm getting shit checked out and like she was just like, well, you just don't eat spicy food for a while. It's like, lady, have you seen my pantry? The spices I've got so many spices and they go.
Oh, so I might as well just die. That's it. That's my life.
They're going in the food, lady. Just look. All I need you to do is stuff the hose down my throat and tell me if something's wrong. Don't go trying to dictate my diet.
Have you had that happen yet?
Not yet. I was supposed to have it done this month, but obviously with things the way they are, it's a non-essential procedure, so.
Yeah, I had it happen just the once, and I'm a little bummed that I was like completely under for it because it seems kind of hot. Like I would if I could have been like numbed up but like conscious, I think that would have been pretty hot.
John, are you talking about going up the butt or down the throat?
Down the throat.
Okay. Because, I'm just going down the throat. That doesn't sound in any way hot to me. I'm glad that I'm going to be in a twilight sleep while they do it.
All right. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't have minded having that life experience. And I feel like maybe I let myself be robbed of it. So what I'm saying is, like, consider your options. Like, just think about, do I want to have the life experience of being conscious while a tube gets put down my throat?
Tango Gemini suggests eating applesauce. I tried that when I got my teeth pulled. I tried it for a day. I lasted one day and said, fuck you, I ain't doing this. I like applesauce, but I don't like applesauce enough to eat it for one fucking day. Like, more than one fucking day.
So much.
It's like, no. Like, I'm done here. Like, I had 2 little packs of it, and I'm just like, I can't. There's no more going in here the rest of this week. I'm done. No, I'm going to go buy all the ice cream and the yogurt tomorrow, and that's all I'm eating.
Perfect.
Nice.
So, Rhett.
I'm just sitting here thinking, Day 2 of quarantine. My friends are hosting a butt problem Sockscast.
It's okay now. It's okay because now I'm not stress shitting. Like that day was gone. That was a bad day. I do know that connection.
Yeah.
Nobody wants the stress shits. Nobody wants the stress shits.
So you know how you said you beat Zelda and you didn't think about it for 2 weeks, and you were taking that as a sign of you didn't like it, which you didn't like it, obviously. I beat a game that I liked and didn't think about it immediately afterwards because of everything.
Oh no.
So I had to look it up before the podcast. I was like, I know there's another game. Oh right, I played that and I liked it. I just completely forgot about it. I played a game called Hypnospace Outlaw.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm on this. Like, I want to play or stream this soon. Like, this is
this game good. This would be an interesting stream for sure. It is a lot of reading, so I'm not sure how that would work. But this is a game that. So the premise is that, like, instead of the internet as it existed in the late 90s, it's this thing called the hypnospace where you're dreaming the web pages, basically. And, like, that premise doesn't really kind of manifest in the game at all, because this is a deep-throated love letter to GeoCities, basically.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of fun early 90s web design in here that I'm so here for.
Like, having lived through that and, like, had my own GeoCities page, which eventually turned into my current website. They just fucking nail that aesthetic so well. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, like they just.
It's by the creator of Dropsy. That's how I recognized it.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
that kind of makes sense though. Like the animation in this is very good for what it's trying to be. Like there's a lot of just goofy animated GIFs and stuff all over the place.
Join my web ring.
There's web rings. There's like you see how all these people are like kind of know each other and are connected and like. So there's this sense of community, but also like, then it's like, here's the gamer web ring, and you click it and you get all the sites that are gamers and stuff like that. But like they just completely nail this GeoCities ripoff aesthetic, basically. Like everybody's got music playing on their page.
Oh yes,
and, like, all the music is original, which is crazy. I mean, I'm assuming it is. It might be licensed out.
From what I understand, a lot of the music is original, and it's a lot of nutty stuff. Yeah,
it's really not great to listen to. Like, no. There's like entire albums worth of it though.
Yeah,
because there's one part where like you get tasked with breaking up the piracy ring.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I go onto this one page, and it's just like, oh, there's just 3 albums worth of stuff here. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's, like, all these, like, 3 to 5 minute songs, and I'm just like, you can just listen to all these if you want to. They're not very good, but they're there.
I think Gone Home had a lot of that stuff, too.
Interesting.
Cool.
That's neat. It just seems like so much work to make. But, like, I kind of lost my train of thought. The other thing is that this game, like, how they structure it is that all these web pages exist in zones, where it's like, this is the teen zone for teens who make their websites, and this one's like, dedicated
like
to
AOL, the way AOL did it.
See, that makes a lot of sense because, like, I was never on AOL, but I can imagine this also pulling from.
That's what I think it's pulling from. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas for me, I just go, oh, this is how GeoCities did it as well.
Yeah.
Because on GeoCities, it was like, my webpage was like station or area 51/station/9979.
Yep.
Where it's like, you would literally have like, okay, area 51 is for the sci-fi sites.
And stuff, then games. Once there's more than,
yeah.
Yeah, it was all broken up in similar ways with different kind of like, not subdomains, but like folders.
Yeah. Folders based. Yeah. And like, just the way they would even be like, okay, so this is your number, and if you want to go to your neighbor with the one number before or after that, you can do that because your neighbors were GeoCities.
Yeah.
I'm like, just thinking of the internet now, like how that
just doesn't even remotely apply anymore.
So it is cool how this is broken down into zones, and all these people clearly know each other because they'll be like, oh, thanks to so and so for the web design. You can click through and get to their page. Or like, hey, thanks for hooking me up with these MP3 files. So cool. The game itself, you are the hypnospace kind of police.
Yeah.
You are tasked with finding and eliminating violating content.
Yeah, you are unfortunately the cop.
Yeah. But like a lot of it is real goofy stuff. Like the first thing is like, oh, there's this cartoon character and people keep posting him, and the IP owner has asked them to stop. So go flag all the images of like Goopy the goldfish or something stupid. So then you're perusing like this 50s old and older community and like flagging all of them, and then the web pages will update after a little bit to be like, hey, what the hell? They deleted my thing.
That's great.
So it's funny how there will be reactions to what you're doing, and then like there's a little bit of time passage through the game as well. Like it's kind of broken up into chapters because of things that happen. So then, like later on, it's just like Goopy is the symbol of the revolution and of how they're policing us, and and it's just like, why are these? And you're getting emails from corporate like, why are they being such fucking stubborn dipshits about this? Like, there's all these little story arcs. It's a fun game. It's not like anything else I've ever played, for sure. I'm
so absolutely like, this is my jam 100%.
Yeah.
It's just
awesome.
Immerse yourself in this fun throwback world of like, and like, I know that I'm 100% going to catch all these fucking weird references and things that it's obviously paying homage to. Like, it's so fucking neat.
Yeah.
And it's coming from like a very legitimate place, because I don't think you put something that like has this kind of feeling together just like reading about it. Like, you had to have been there for this. Yeah,
this definitely was, you had to be there kind of vibe.
Cool.
I will say some of the puzzles I think maybe get a little too cryptic at points, and this is where I like have a very low patience span. I'm just like, okay, what's the damn answer? Because there's one of them where it's like you have to build a password out of 3 different things, and I got like 2 of them, and I was wrong on the 3rd one, but like I was close, but the game wasn't giving me any indication as to how close I was.
That can be frustrating
because it's like, oh, it's this person's username. And then I put that in, it's not right. It's like, oh, it's his username in his like fictional RPG that he made, not his actual cyber domain name. And I'm just like, oh, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
But like, it is weird though, because it starts with you going through these zones, and then you end up like, oh, we want to find, like, there's like a quest to do, what's it called? Like a download accelerator, which again is a thing from that era of the internet.
Yeah.
So like these people are hiding their download accelerator through this quest that you have to do to prove that you're worthy of downloading it.
That's so cool.
And then of course there's like virtual desktop pets, and then you can get infected with viruses, and then you have to buy antivirus software. It's all very goofy shit. There's like this pop-up called Dr. Helper.
Oh, good.
Where it's like, so like once you install it, every 30 seconds he's like, Dr. Helper here, what can I help you with? And if you click yes, it just sends you like a banner ad, so it's completely useless. And then like once you get the download accelerator, like, which actually does make the game quote load faster because it is intentionally sluggish.
That's fucked.
But then every like minute or two, it has a banner pop up with like this lightning sound effect of like, please click here to support the developers. I'm like, fuck off. This game, you know how this game worked is that I have a personal shortcut on my desktop to just go like from the taskbar to the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm in this virtual desktop in the game itself, I kept like forgetting where I was. Because I'm trying to use my kind of normal tab shortcuts in the game. I'm realizing, oh, this isn't actually like my desktop.
Oh, that's cool.
Because you don't just have the web browser, you also have like email and file browsers. And it started all to blur together. I'm like, oh, this is weird.
That's really awesome.
That's so cool.
That's really awesome.
So there is a bit of a story and an overall arc to the game that I don't want to spoil, but I was definitely surprised that there was more to it than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Knowing that it was from the developer of Dropsy, I knew that there was going to be a lot more to it than what appears on the surface. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you get like a completion percentage at the end just based on how much you viewed, and I think mine's at like 30%, and I'm just like, how is there so much more? Like, it's insane. I think it might be a lot of like the hidden kind of backdoor stuff that might be difficult to reach, because everyone has like their secret file sharing backdoors and stuff.
Go there, look at their porn.
There's no porn, obviously. It's like where people are hiding their MP3 files.
Yeah.
Then you go in there and flag them, and they're just like, "What the fuck?"
But if it was red, it would be his porn.
The cop got in. Because that's what they're saying. You can read messages from people like, and whatever you do, don't let an enforcer get in here and find this stuff.
Yeah. That's cool as fuck.
It's so weird. It's a very unique experience.
Copsy.
That's pretty good.
Beepner says in chat, Copsy. That's real good.
Okay, so Polly doesn't have anything else. John, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I have one more thing.
Okay.
What you got?
Cool.
So I posted about this earlier today. I played a really cute itch game. It's called The List.
I have this downloaded. I'm very excited. What I've seen of this game already, I'm like, I'm here. I'm here for it.
Literally, yeah, like after Remnants, I was like, and then I watched you play that, and I was like, oh. And then I'm playing this, like, oh, this is just a game about walking around this little world and prompting a bunch of really cute text prompts from absolutely everything on screen. And I was like, I think Polly might like this.
Yeah.
So it just kind of, it's from the Nikki system. It's just it's this group that's been making Glorious Trainwrecks games for ages.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you can go down that Glorious Trainwrecks page and it's just a ton of games. It's really cool. And then last year I played their Ruff and Raffy Defeat the Plutonian Vampires, which was a very cute Chips Challenge riff, but really was just sort of an excuse for like cute, stupid interactions in a Chips Challenge kind of environment.
Yeah,
and also
that kind of shit is like, man, I bet I would really excel at making junk like that.
Exactly. It's just like a ton of good little. It's the Glorious Trainwrecks aesthetic.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of clip art, a bunch of old click and play clip art. This game especially is just. It's massive. This game, The List, it's like 2 to 3 hours long if you want to collect everything, which I did. It's all like cool clip art and borrowed textures and whatnot. It's a really cool, nice aesthetic. All MIDI music.
Yes.
That's unique to every location. And it's just like, drip feed it to me. Oh yes, this is everything I need. This is everything I want. I love this aesthetic so much.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're Elizabeth the Elephant, and you wake up, and your village is being menaced by very loud airplanes, and they're just so loud. And all of your treetop friends in your treetop village are complaining about it. So you wind up, basically the thrust of it is that you're going around and collecting things to eventually, potentially, address the airplane problem. So, and then you're talking with your friends and maybe getting permission from them to borrow their stuff to help you address the airplane problem. So the arc of the game is just walking around and talking to absolutely everybody and prompting a ton of text. And everything is interactable and cute. And there's a couple frictions that are very fun. And then a couple mini games that are like, whoa, you put a ton of work into this. Like, oh shit. And I don't want to talk about it much more than that. It's just a very cute, delightful thing. And the surprising thing is that for as shitposty as it is, it has a nice message.
That's
It made me feel fuzzy.
That's cool.
It's very sincere. So I'm going to post that in the chat. The List, Skirt Dingo, is the itch page.
Yep, I have this download. I downloaded this earlier today. As soon as I saw you posted about it, I was like, this is a shit post of a game, and I want it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it. Like I said, the shitpost game is a beautiful art form.
Yeah,
and
like, if you can pull that off, if you can pull off the shitpost, or if you can pull off the shitpost video game, you are operating on the next level.
Yeah, it depends entirely on if you gel with the writing. Like I remember when you bounced off "You Are the Wizard," and I was like, all right, fair enough. This is a different enough voice that I'm not too worried there. But that's all it is. Just, do you connect with the sense of humor here? And I definitely did. Awesome. There's at least one post that was just, things were so much simpler when I was a little elephant, but now I'm living my big elephant life. Like, mood. Big ol' mood. Oh Lord. So that was my last thing. I had a great time with this little game.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. So it sounds like we are winding
I've got one
down.
more thing.
You got another
Brad,
thing?
tell us about your
I've
thing.
got one more thing.
Well, damn. Somebody's going to keep this. Somebody's got to keep the people fed, because it ain't me.
Yep. That's why I was asking John if he had one more thing, because I was just going to roll right into this.
Roll with
or
it.
not.
Let's do it.
So
I watched Symphogear again.
No.
I mean, you did.
So I didn't. I listened to the soundtrack for GX like 4 times though.
5 times.
It's been a week. Things were weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been kind of violently bouncing off games. Like, I hate this, and uninstall.
Yeah, I've kind of been having that problem too.
Yeah, so sometimes you just want to go back to something you know is a safe bet. So I returned to what is apparently, realizing now, my favorite game of the year thus far. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yeah, you were playing that again, I noticed.
Because they put the DLC on sale, which is another chapter. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll play one more chapter of that. So they did a Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah.
So the DLC for this strips all the Mario stuff out and just has you go through Donkey Kong Country.
That's really cool. That could be real fun.
So it's amazing how much they were able to just make it Donkey Kong
retrofit everything.
Yeah. The one Mario thing is that, so you have 3 set characters in this one. There's no party swapping, which is fine, because that was kind of what bugged me in the main game, is how you just wanted to use the Mario characters, and then they force you to use the Rabbids.
The Rabbids, yeah.
And they don't even say that they're doing that. They just force you to use the Rabbids.
Yeah.
So you have 3 characters in the DLC. Donkey Kong is one of them, so A+ right there. And then the other 2 are Cranky Rabbid, which is another new character who's really goofy. And the other one is just Peach Rabbid from the main game, who I never really used that much, so I didn't really mind that much. But basically, you know how my main complaint with the main game is that the characters didn't really feel like themselves because, like, Mario's got a gun.
Hey, Mario's got a gun now.
Mario's got a gun, and he should be shooting fireballs or something, and just a lot of the aesthetic things just didn't quite mesh right.
Yeah.
With Donkey Kong, they totally fucking get it. He feels like he should, and it's really weird. He's like the best character in the game by far.
Oh, wow.
So in the main game, when you run up to another character, they can throw you up in the air to kind of do a super jump. Donkey Kong does not super jump. So his movement is so different from everybody else. It's really wild that they completely upended it for him. When he moves onto something, be it cover, an enemy, or a teammate, he can pick them up and keep moving. Remember, I included cover. He can just straight up rip tiles out of the ground and pick them up.
That's fucking nuts!
So he can pick anything up, move somewhere else, and then throw it.
Oh, wow.
So he can throw enemies at each other. He can throw teammates to safe places. Or he can just straight up rip the cover out and throw it at an enemy. And it's just really fun to use.
Oh, wow.
He also has these swing points that are unique to him. The other characters can't use them, so he can swing around the map really quickly sometimes. And it's kind of like the pipes where he'll get a few movement spaces afterwards. So you can just be chaining together like pipes and swing points and just move around the map really quickly.
Oh, wow. That's actually really cool.
Yeah. There's one map where it's like the goal was just to get to the end, so I just have Donkey Kong pick up one of my teammates, get pretty far across the map, and then just have him throw them across a gap, and they were like one move from the end already, and I was like, well, I kind of cheesed that one, huh?
This sounds like Disgaea's stacking, but like taken to like way less convoluted, but it's taking that idea and making it way more fun.
You're just like kind of queuing up movements through stuff all in a row. It's like there's one map in the challenges at the end where it's like there were so many pipes so close to each other where you could just continuously chain through them like without stopping. And it's just like, you can just your movement range is like the entire map now. It's really weird.
That's bonkers.
The other thing he does that's different, or not different, but like his abilities also just feel like Donkey Kong, because one of them is just pulling out a pair of bongas and doing a little groove on them, and it causes his enemies to swarm to him.
Oh,
like they start dancing and they walk towards him.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's goofy, but again, it feels like it's a reference
Donkey
to
Kong.
The
bongo game.
The bongo game. His main weapon is a boomerang. It's not a gun, which is nice.
Nice.
Because that again feel like would have broken the illusion.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Diddy Kong did get a gun in 64.
Yeah.
But Donkey Kong can't get a gun. No. That just feels like too much.
That's silly.
And then his alternate attack is just slamming the ground, which is something I think they took from Returns.
Yeah, he slams the ground in all of the Donkey Kong Country games, so
I wasn't sure if it was a thing in the SNES ones.
Yeah.
But again, like everything just comes together to where none of it feels like character breaking. Like it all just works really well.
Yeah.
Cool. That counts for so much.
They don't do that with Rabid Kong. Or not Rabid. Cranky Rabbid. It's just a really goofy character because he doesn't really share anything with Cranky Kong, who isn't in the game, but his abilities are just fun because he's got a shotgun.
Yes! I can see really Cranky with a shotgun. I could see Cranky with a shotgun.
Okay. The big unique thing they kind of do with him is that when he gets thrown up into the air, either being thrown by Donkey Kong or jumping off another character, if he goes over an enemy, he will shoot down at them.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's fucking nuts.
That's ridiculous.
and like you can upgrade it to have a pretty big AoE because it's more of kind of a blunderbuss style where it just has like ridiculous spread.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you shoot an enemy far away, it does almost no damage, but if you get close up, but it can hit a bunch of enemies at once. So he'll be just jumping over enemies and shooting down with like a 5-tile spread.
Wow.
It's really weird. So like a lot of it doing well is just kind of maximizing your damage of like, okay, you're not just going to attack the enemy, you're going to throw cover at them, throw another player at them, have Cranky Ravage shoot down at them, and then actually do your attacks. Like,
that's ridiculous.
It's really silly because some of the challenges that you unlock after beating it are just like win in one turn, and you're just like, what? Because you just have to maximize every advantage you can get.
You take advantage of what sound like these really already incredibly overpowered abilities.
Yeah.
And it's like learning how to like play around within the rule set to win a fight in one turn. That's cool shit.
Yeah. I thought the main campaign was maybe a little shorter than it needed to be because some of the area there's like 4 small areas, but like the third one or the fourth one is like 3 fights and then a boss. It's just like, man, I just got here.
Yeah.
You know? But it was a fun time, basically.
Yeah, that's really cool.
At all. So it was nice to return to something that I knew was like a safe bet.
That's like a guaranteed gonna have a good time.
Gonna have a good time with that, and I did.
I can see that.
And that's what I've been up to.
Fantastic. And that's gonna do it for us. So thanks again, everybody, for coming out. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the bits and the subs. Those are also very much appreciated. John Thayer, where can our good pals on the internet find you?
farawaytimes.itch.io.
And Rhett.
In my room.
In your room for the perceivable future.
I'm on quarantine, baby.
Woo!
Watching anime.
How do you afford your quarantine lifestyle?
Did you see Colin's message that was polypoint incentive for Rhett not to masturbate for a week?
Dude. Now that he's on quarantine, that's literally me asking Rhett to kill himself.
I didn't know Colin was into that.
Honestly, I'm not surprised I haven't seen people joking about stuff like no nut quarantine.
The no nut quarantine. It's like you already got November. You already got November. Let's not go crazy here. If the entire world stops masturbating, we're going to see a rise in serial killings. Plain and simple. And you can find me on my dumb website. Stay safe out there, everybody. It's really important that you do that. Wash your hands. Do all that good shit. Take care of each other and yourselves. And remember, we are the ones that love you. We're the only ones that love you. And that is a podcast. Woo!
Nice
job, everybody. Good job. One for the team. We did good.
Well, Rhett, people are definitely tweeting no nut quarantine.
Oh, they are.
Damn it.
Well, rip.
I feel like with the Twitter feed I have, I would have seen that by now, but I haven't.
I don't think it's an actual meme. I think it's a bunch of people independently making a joke.
Mm.
Oh my god.
Well, damn.
It might get there.
Right. All right, so
I will not get there.
Everybody stick around. Oh. I'm going to throw out a host to somebody, but thanks again for coming out. We really appreciate y'all coming out, and we hope we've made things a little, we've lightened the mood a little bit, hopefully, if anything. I am going to shoot y'all over to Arcus. He's playing Dragon Quest XI. That's a good video game, isn't it? Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
All right. So we will catch you probably next time, 1 or 2 weeks, depends. When we need more social interaction, we'll let you know. Keep an eye on the Twitter. We'll get to you.
Yeah, that's true. We might be next weekend. Hey, want to do another Sockscast?
That literally may happen. We'll catch y'all next time. Bye-bye.